Hi friend, welcome to the pure mathematics lecture. In this class, we want to explain lecture. It is lecture 9. We want to explain absolute value of real number. Absolute value of real number. The absolute value of real numbers denoted by this symbol, and it is equal to itself without its sign. It is the definition of absolute value. Mathematically, we can define as follows. Absolute value of x is equal to x, such that x is 0 or greater than x is greater than or equal to 0, minus x if x is such that x is less than 0. It is the definition of absolute value of real number. Example number 1. Absolute value of minus 3 is equal to 3. Number 2. Absolute value of positive 3 is equal to 3. Number 3. Absolute value of 0 is equal to 0. Number 4. Absolute value of positive 8 is equal to 8. Number 5. Absolute value of minus 8 is equal to 8, and so on. Absolute value of a real number is equal to itself without its sign. If we remove the sign of numbers, actually we get absolute value of that number. It is the simple definition of absolute value of a real number. From absolute value of real number, we can add or subtract real number. Because of that, I studied here. I explained absolute value of real number. Next one, operations on real numbers. Number one, adding of real number. The rules of adding real numbers or as adding integers. Rules of adding real numbers. To add two numbers with same signs, both positive or both negative. A add their absolute values. B, give the sum same sign. It is first rule. Add two numbers with same signs, both positive or both negative. Add their absolute value. B, give the sum same signs. Number two, to add two different numbers with two numbers with different signs. One positive and another one negative. A, find their absolute, find difference, find the difference of their, find their absolute values. Note that what should we do during that? Note that when you find absolute value, always subtract lesser absolute value from greater one. You should remember these things. B, give the sum the same sign, give the sum the same sign as the greater absolute value. It is the rule of adding two real numbers. When we want to add two real numbers, we should consider these rules. Add of real number or simple, very simple, like adding of integers. But the most of things which you should consider their sign. If we want to add two same sign numbers, rules, it is two rules we have. Number one, number two. Number 2. If those two numbers which we want to add, they have same sign, both are positive or both are negative. We do these things, add their absolute value and put the before sum we should put the same sign. If they are positive, we should write positive. If they are negative, we should write negative. Number 2. Example. From this part, we want to write an example. Example 1. Plus 3 add with plus 2. They have same sign. We add absolute value. Here we have 3, here we have 2. 3 plus 2, 5. Absolute value of 5, the sign, same sign. Here, actually we add their absolute value, 2 plus 3, 5, and next one, the sum, same sign. Here we have positive, here also we have positive, positive, positive. Here we write from one of them, we write here positive. Number 2. Number 2, if we have minus 3 plus minus 5, it is equal to, we add absolute value. Here we have 3, here we have 5. 3 plus 5, 8. Joint sign, or they have same sign. Minus, minus. Here we write minus 8. 3. Example 3. Example 4. To add two numbers with different signs, one positive and another one is negative. First one, find one is enough. Find the difference of their absolute values. Note that when you find absolute value, always subtract lesser absolute value from greater one. First we want to find the difference of their absolute values. Give the sum the same sign as the greater absolute value. Here, if we want to add different plus 5 minus 2, it is equal to plus minus 2. We want to add these two different these two numbers which they have different sign. It has positive and it is minus. It is plus, it is minus. But first one, we want to find the difference of their absolute value. Absolute value of this is 5. And absolute value of this is 2. 5 minus 2. Absolute value of 5 is equal to plus 5. Is equal to 5. Absolute value of minus 2 is equal to 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. It is equal to 3. Here give the sum the same sign as the greater absolute value. The number greater absolute value as the number greater absolute value. Those number which has greater with greater absolute value. We should put here the sign of that number which has greater absolute value. Here 2 is less than 5. Now we have to write here plus, because the greater absolute value number 5 is has greater absolute value. So we have to put in front of 3 we have to put positive. Number 4, minus 8 plus 11. It is equal to, here two different number, we want to add these two different number. Here minus 8 plus 11. Now first we want to find their difference, their different absolute values. Here we have 11, here we have 8. 11 minus 8, it will become 3. Absolute value of 11 is greater than 8. Absolute value of 11 is greater than absolute value of minus 8. So here 3 should have positive signs or plus. Number 5. Minus 6 plus 18. It is equal to, or plus 6 minus 18. Here we find different value, difference between value of 18 and absolute value of 18 and 6. Positive 6 plus 6. From 18 we subtract 6, it is equal to 12. The number of absolute value, the absolute value of greater number is minus. So we have to write here minus 12. Here we have plus 6. Here we have minus 18. We find their difference. Their difference is 12. 18 minus 6, 12. But the negative number has greater absolute value. So it is negative. So we have to write negative. The sign of 12 is negative.